In a huge game on Sunday Night Football, Christian McCaffrey went out there and almost single-handedly, at least for the offense, won the game 20-10, and McCaffrey yet again showed why he might be the most valuable running back in the NFL. Christian McCaffrey for the 49ers was absolutely phenomenal, and honestly, he's been very, very good all year, but this was like the ultimate game for him. I mean, they were talking about it a lot. Kyle Shanahan brought it up, but running the football, they had been struggling with that as a team, and that's why they'd become a passing team. A very good one, might I add. They, as a team, were number one in passing in the league coming into this game, but they were playing an Atlanta Falcons team that was number one in pass defense. They knew that running was going to have to be the strength, and getting Kittle back, getting Juwan Jennings back, that's what Kyle Shanahan said would help them in the running game, as far as those guys being physical enough and just having the experience enough to know where to block and how to open up those holes. And Christian McCaffrey was amazing. 129 yards on the ground, 2 rushing touchdowns, and receiving-wise, 72 yards through the air. He obviously led the team in both of those, but one of the more amazing things, he actually led both teams in running and receiving. That's just ridiculous. And he was clearly the catalyst from the beginning of the game. Kyle Shanahan came out, said, "This is what we're going to do. We're going to run the ball right at him," and they just did it over and over again, and McCaffrey was just making it happen. And then when it was time to throw the ball, he was, like I said, the number one receiver out there. So that was an incredible performance. That is the McCaffrey that a lot of people, I think 2-3 years ago, said he could have been the MVP of the league. And he was up there right with, I think it was him, Lamar, and Purdy at a point. But McCaffrey was amazing, and that's why this 49ers made the Super Bowl. So McCaffrey, an absolutely amazing game. And in this one, I think the signature play, obviously, well, not obviously, he had so many, but 3rd and 14, up 3, 13-10. They call a little double post, and they have McCaffrey cut in. Mac lets it go, and he's just a slot receiver on this play, and he makes the huge reception for the first down. I mean, that was just, and he's been their number one receiver really all year, but that was just an incredible performance. And on the season, just looked it up, he is 12th in rushing yards in the NFL. It's honestly might be a little low when you consider McCaffrey, but again, they haven't been able to run the ball at all. And he's 8th in the league in receiving yards. Not running backs of anybody. He's 8th in the league in receiving yards. That is just ridiculous. And McCaffrey, clearly, this is why they need him back. This is why they need him healthy. And Kyle's just going to keep using him, right? I worry sometimes about his health. In this game, he had the ball 30 times. You wonder how much you can do that with all their injuries. If McCaffrey, anything happened to him, obviously we know what would happen. But for him to go out there and do that to the Falcons, get them to 5-2, was incredible. Robert Saleh, his impact on the 49ers, to me, I think this is the first time I really internalized it and really acknowledged what it was, because we know Bosa's out for the year, and I really thought the Falcons could win this game with no Fred out there, and with what we saw, how that secondary looked in the second half of that Buccaneers game. Robert Saleh wasn't letting it happen, and these guys were amazing on the defensive end all game. And the team of the Falcons, like, we've seen them put up some points on people before. It just wasn't happening. They were flying to the ball, hitting the crap out of people. I remember, I want to make sure I get his name right. Yeah, D. Winters just had a couple of just hits where I'm like, whoa. Tatum Bethune, 10 tackles for him. So to get a guy I've never heard of in kind of a replacement position for Fred, that was just huge. And they were all over everything the Falcons wanted to do. They knew about the pistol. They were on it. They weren't letting any of those screens work. They were making them throw some tough passes. Penix was hitting them, some of them, right? Like the Falcons and them, they were hitting a couple of them down the field, but no bombs. And down the field, I mean like 10, 15 yards. They were not letting them get easy stuff. 14 rushes for Bijan, only 40 yards. That's great run defense out there as well. And like I said, this scheme was just amazing. Bryce Huff, he has 4 sacks this year. And he came in, flew in, forced a fumble, strip sack, and that was huge. And that's just jarring to me because Huff on the Eagles was just unplayable, apparently. Vic didn't like the fact, Vic Fangio, our defensive coordinator, didn't like the fact he didn't play the run. But as a pass rusher, Bryce Huff still has it. We could use that right now. And Saleh has found a way to unlock that. And so far this season, man, you know, I thought maybe, I knew his impact was good, but I thought, you know, all these injuries, at a certain point, something had to fade on the offense or defensive end. But Saleh just not letting it happen. And I actually want to see, and write it down, where are they in like points per game? So they came into this 15th in points per game. That's really good considering last year they were low 20s. I think they were like 24th, 25th, and they had way more talent. They were hurt, but they had Fonga, Greenlaw, and Bosa and Fred were out there. So now with Bosa's been out, Fred only missed a couple of games now, but that defense really trending up. And Saleh, I mean, you see it with the Jets, right? He won like 4 games, like me and Tony Tiger were talking about, and you think, okay, you know, maybe, you know, I don't know. That's not like a great job, but you look at how the Jets look right now, and the uptick in this defense, and Saleh just inspires the troops, and he got them flying up there so far this season, and specifically against the Falcons on Sunday Night Football, and that was really impressive. And I think it's clear. I think we're here. It was a good run. I don't even think he necessarily played bad, but it's time. Brock is going to still be the starter. I'm jumping off the soapbox. And the main reason is because you saw in this game some of his limitations. Now, all this being said, the Falcons' defense has been able to stop everyone from throwing the ball. I mean, they made Josh Allen look bad a couple weeks ago. So maybe even I'm jumping the gun a little bit there. And it wasn't like he was bad. 17 for 26, 152. Threw an interception, but it was really a drop pass by Juwan Jennings. And obviously, most of the time, the ball was going to McCaffrey regardless. He wasn't really getting involved. A lot of anger in the fact that Kittle didn't get any catches. I know a lot of people had him starting fantasy. They thought he was going to come back with a bang. Just not the team for that. But even as I'm saying this, maybe I should talk. Maybe I should. I'm convincing myself out of it a little bit. Like, that's a tough situation against the number 1 pass defense in the league, and that clearly wasn't the game plan. But I think you just see the limitations and certain things like Brock's ability to move. And this is more almost about the Bucs game than this game and how bad he looked then. And it's kind of like this game he was bad, but it's the Falcons defense. You won the game, whatever. But that Bucs game was jarring because what you can't have is him start to turn the ball over, and it's happening a little bit. You know, we saw one, but we saw it a lot against the Bucs. A lot of fumbles, a couple like picks, a pick, I believe, and pick opportunities. So not ideal from Mac Jones as a starter. Now, still doing a great job. I mean, as a backup, he's 4-1. He's definitely filled in his role great, and I think he'll be a starter somewhere. But I think you can see again, the Falcons are a team. Maybe we'll see it a little bit more against some of these higher-end defenses. But just the fact that you want someone who can kind of create a little bit more and who can go out there and make those plays. So ultimately, though, for the 49ers, they continue to fight. They are right where you want to be. They're 5-2, and they've already beaten both the other teams in the Rams and the Seahawks in that division. So, you know, for the 49ers, definitely still, they're injured, but all things considered, a great start to the season. Next week, they get the Texans And their upcoming schedule: Texans, Giants, Rams, Cardinals. I think they're better than the Texans. The Texans, I mean, that Texans defense is for real. It is going to be in Houston. It's going to be west to east too at 1 o'clock. That's interesting. But I don't know. That is an interesting game because only scoring 20 against the Falcons, you wonder how are they going to be able to move the ball on them. Giants, Rams, these are interesting games, but I just can't. I picked against the 49ers last week against the Falcons. Felt a little silly about it. And Shanahan and Saleh, this combination is back, and they're just going to get the best out of this unit out there. And right now the Texans aren't doing that, at least offensively. So still obviously very interested in the 49ers going forward. They continue to just win tough games, big games without these guys, and that's just impressive stuff. And Shanahan, Saleh, and definitely Christian McCaffrey, just got to tip your hat to them and what they've been able to do 7 games into the season. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Please watch some of the other videos on the site. I've created a playlist with each and every football team, and every week we will be going over those games. I'm really loving this, enjoying it, and hoping you guys are as well. Of course, like, subscribe, and if anyone wants to sponsor, we're looking for Lumia Sports Productions is looking for sponsors. Shout us out. We will shout you out during the video. Thank you guys again for watching. Have a great day. Enjoy.